Got to be able to hear you. Test, test, test.
Morning, folks. We're here to announce the nearly $77 million in investment in wastewater and important housing infrastructure, cost shared with the federal government. This is really about cost of living for you. The more investment that we're doing to unlock more housing, to have more infrastructure, makes your role as a ratepayer a little bit easier. A little bit of help from the province and the feds is going to help you with the cost of living. More housing helps too. So happy to take questions on that and other topics that people may have.
I was standing right beside Jeff Fawcett, Mayor Brandon, when the announcement came out, and the smile on his face was huge. Big cities are going to get a big chunk of the $77 million. Small rural municipalities are going to say, how much is in it for me? What is your message to rural municipalities who are looking at this and saying, is there any in this for me?
This is a great announcement for rural municipalities. When you look at the RSR project alone, you're talking about $44 million to help some of the fastest growing communities in our province. And then right across the south, the Pembina Valley, big investments coming through, $77 million in total. So this helps you as the ratepayer on the cost of living, and this is going to help our province add more housing to those fast growing areas.
Are these shovel-ready projects?
Yes. Yeah, maybe Glen can jump in here, but yeah, the short answer is yes, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are shovel ready. They're ready to go. We're really excited. A lot of the work happening in Brandon. It's already started, but now we're partners. We're meaningful partners, and what it really demonstrates is that you'll see the benefits almost immediately.
And this has nothing to do with Newpeg. That's separate.
No, that's correct. This is all rural investment. It's affecting a lot of communities, hub communities, if you will. If you think of the southeast, you're thinking about communities in and around Steinbach. You have this Pembina Valley, which is Winkler, Morden, and then you have out in Westman, Brandon. And a really important project that was announced also today was the Boissevain, which is a hub city for the extreme southwest, and they can get started on their development right away.
Premier, the Red Dress Alert, they just finished the news conference there, and they need your sign off as the province. Essentially what they want to do is send alert to people's phones, very much like you have in an AMM situation. And that's something your government has to sign off on. Is that something that you're willing to embrace?
Yeah, I think we've got a lot of leadership on our team. Nahani Fontaine, Bernadette Smith, and that committee of cabinet on MMIW, G2S+, and gender-based violence. I think they'll probably want to weigh in on this today, given the news that you're sharing. We've definitely been hearing from the group organizing the Red Dress Alert in the lead up to this, so we've been supportive and communicating with them. And the big thing is, let's just make everyone safer in Manitoba. We've seen some terrible stories, very high-profile ones. And if this can help make women, girls, two-spirit people safer, let's pursue it.
In your speech, you talked a lot about meth and holding individuals, gangs accountable. Beyond kind of those words, what is your government looking at doing on the investment side for police agencies across the province on this? Because it's one thing to say it, it's another thing to back it up with resources.
Yeah, we've been working with the police agencies in Manitoba to hire more cops. And now what we're bringing forward with this meth task force is coordination. And I think coordination is going to be key, because the person trafficking meth is not stopping at the perimeter. They're jumping on a plane and going north. They're driving to a rural community or a First Nation. And we got to have those local police departments or the RCMP engaged, sharing information, and at the end of the day, cracking down on people who are choosing to cause damage to our communities. I think people across Manitoba understand when you're talking about crime in our province, you're usually talking about drugs. It's tied to drugs one way or the other. And so we have to hold the people responsible. We're going to have the treatment, we're going to have the prevention, we're going to have the harm reduction, but enforcement has got to be a part of our response to drugs and addiction.
Aside from coordination on that issue, aside from coordination, are there going to be extra officers, more feet on the street? What's going to be part of this task force other than some coordination between agencies?
Yeah, I think you'll see a lot of new resources get rolled out. It'll probably be the Minister of Justice leading those announcements. But I think first and foremost, you got to have a coordinated strategy. Just making sure that the same way we're dealing with a highly fractured transnational drug cartel, post-cartel environment, we have to have a new approach when it comes to law enforcement. You know, the idea of like this vertically integrated Pablo Escobar thing that you've been watching on Netflix does not exist anymore. It's these little cells of people who are bringing super toxic drugs into our community. Law enforcement is chomping at the bit to put these bad guys behind bars. Let's just connect that different piece, those different connective tissues that need to be brought together so that we can hold people accountable. So coordination is the first step. Resources obviously tied in along with that as well too.
The specific calls for legislation. Would you be open? Is legislation something?
Yeah, we'll be open to taking steps to making people safer, and I'll just maybe open it up for our colleagues who are working on this cabinet committee because I'm sure they'd love to weigh in later on today.
Pouvez-vous donner votre réaction en français au dépôt du rapport final pour l'alerte rouge?
Oui, pour nous, c'est toujours un enjeu où ce qu'on a vu des situations très graves ici dans le Manitoba. Et si on pourrait travailler ensemble pour créer une province plus sécuritaire, nous devons être là pour faire ce travail ensemble.
Et pourquoi c'est important de le faire ici au Manitoba?
Mais je pense qu'il y a beaucoup de militantes et puis des personnes dans la communauté qui ont agi pour des étapes comme celui-ci. C'était dans l'enquête aussi. Alors pour nous, c'est un enjeu où le Manitoba pourrait être un leader dans cette façon.
UW's board premier got rid of its president. Does the province have any say in that decision?
No.
Did you previously have confidence in the leadership of the university?
Universities are a self-governing institution, so I got a lot of thoughts on universities, but they govern themselves, and this is an issue that I hope they're going to be able to handle to the most important thing, which is students being satisfied with the education and getting the preparation for the world.
Did you have concerns with what was happening at you? That maybe students weren't getting?
No, I have nothing to do with this. I really got no insight to share.
Your throne speech says you want to change,
Sorry?
to do some changes to board makeup at the universities. What's the rationale behind that result?
Well, the University of Winnipeg is a 37-member board. Can you imagine trying to get anything done with 37 people on a board? Yeah, so, I mean, it's totally separate from this. That's just one example. A lot of the other post-secondaries are in a similar situation. But again, we'll work together, we'll collaborate, we'll listen. If people want to maintain the current board structure, it's certainly something we'd be open to entertaining, but I think we just want to say, like, hey, students are heading into a workforce where youth unemployment and AI and the cost of buying your first home are these major issues swirling around. Are post-secondaries keeping pace with that reality for the students? And I think governance as a government is one of the places where we can nudge things along to make sure that the young person out there is getting what they need. But just to be clear, what I'm talking about here, it's all about board governance, nothing to do with the specific personnel issue that you raised earlier, if I can draw that distinction.
Did you talk?
Road safety. We have a Winnipeg city councilor who wants to pursue photo technology that could catch drivers while they're on their phones on the roads as a way to deter them from distracted driving. Obviously, the province would have to play a part in that. What are your thoughts on that?
Really the first time hearing of this idea, so maybe I'll take some time and look into what was being suggested. But safety is always top of mind for us. Yeah.
You were drafting a letter to the Prime Minister about Sean Land.
Yeah.
Did you get that letter
It went
sent
out.
off?
Yeah.
Okay. Could
Yeah,
we
we
get a
could
copy
share it.
of it? 'Cause,
We'll probably post it online, but yeah, we could share it. So.
Okay. Did you get any response?
I don't know if we've gotten a response yet. Yeah. We can also share.
Did you discuss it in your meeting with him
Yeah, we discussed public safety.
in general?
yeah, we discussed, I don't really talk about the specifics of what we discuss in our meetings, but
Later this week, Premier Smith of Alberta and Mark Carney, Prime Minister, will be signing an MOU around resources. In your speech to delegates today, you talked about Churchill.
Yeah.
Will you be asking for your own MOU to get more resources to Tidewater in through Churchill?
I think we've been very excited about the Churchill project. It seems like the idea whose time has finally come. So we're definitely working on that. But I think what I've been saying throughout is that the approach we're taking in Manitoba, I'm confident in the long run, will lead to us getting things built faster than any other approach that we're seeing around the country. So by all means, I wish the Prime Minister well. I wish the other premiers well. And I'm just confident in our approach. We're proceeding methodically. We're getting the Indigenous partnership straightened out. We're getting the federal relationship in a good place. And I'm feeling good about Manitoba's future.
2 years since your election, what's your relationship, your personal relationship like with the municipalities? Because as I speak to Reeves and mayors, I'm getting some good, some positive, some negative comments about how the relationship is being forged over the last 2 years.
Well, I would say the good is always when we're hearing the unvarnished perspectives and the needs of the municipalities, and only the mistakes were mine.
On the wildfire review, can you reference someone from Alberta? Will this be an external review?
Yep.
Are we hiring? Can you share a little information on who
We'll get you a bunch of details as you see fit, but effectively, Alberta has experience doing a review like this because of their experience in Jasper. And so we're going to turn to them and ask them to come to Manitoba and take that same deep dive at our experience, which was very different from the Jasper experience, and yet is of a scale where that know-how in conducting a large-scale review will be helpful. At the same time, what we did in the wildfire season this year was have a one Manitoba approach, meaning municipalities, First Nations, local fire departments, wildfire service, CAF when they were engaged, all the partnership, us as the province, the federal government, we all work together. So as we go through the review, we're also going to want to make sure that all of those different governments and agencies are involved in our review too. And so that's why I raised it here in the room, so that municipalities who were very active either at hosting evacuees or helping with the wildfire response, so that they'll know that we're going to be coming to them to get input and then also talk through some of the recommendations of what it might mean for them.
And who from Alberta is coming? Is it the EMO, Wildfire Service?
Yeah, we can get you specific details about the folks from Alberta's team. Yeah.
Is Manitoba missing the boat on nation-building projects? We hear about the pipeline discussion for Alberta and Saskatchewan. We hear about Saskatchewan potash being shipped out through Washington State, not through Churchill. Are we being too careful and missing out on opportunity?
I think we're in a good spot. I'm very confident about Manitoba's economic future. And show me a nation-building project that's been built yet. So we may be proven wrong, but for now, I'm confident in our approach.
Businesses have said that they're disappointed in the throne speech because there wasn't enough to, feed the economic horse that's pulling the social cart. I'm just wondering, is there going to be more in the budget? What can you tell businesses who are disappointed about the lack of incentive in the throne speech?
That's not what I'm hearing from business leaders, from the CEOs and people running businesses. They're excited about Manitoba's economy. And I think the steps that we've taken around making sure that no manufacturer has to pay sales tax is huge. This is the part of our economy Donald Trump is targeting, so we're pushing back and we're saying you need to grow in order to avoid shrinking right now as a manufacturer. So acquire the plant and machinery, and we're going to put a tax cut in the way to help, or a tax cut in place to help incentivize that. At the same time, we need power so that we can be energy sovereign compared to the U.S., but also power our domestic needs. So we're building a $3 billion gas plant. And it's not going inside the perimeter for the AMM audience here. It's going in western Manitoba. And that's going to put tons of people to work, thousands and thousands of people to work, but it's also going to meet some important power needs that we have going forward into the future. Just a couple of smatterings of some of the mini economic initiatives that we're taking into effect. And then, of course, I got a speech I'm delivering to the Chamber in a few weeks, so we'll have some more good economic news to share there.
I just want to turn our attention to the RM of Taché, which you brought up
Yeah.
during your speech.
Yeah.
This is not the first incident of this occurrence. It got some not provincial-wide news, but municipal leaders are facing incivility on a regular basis, whether it be social media, whether it be what we saw in the RM. Does the province have a role in protecting our municipal leaders?
I think we do have a role in a number of different ways. In some sense, it makes sense to call on greater regulation, legislation, codes of conduct. But I have a feeling that somebody who's going to take a step as ugly as we saw in Taché is not going to respect the code of conduct. So I think part of the other response that we have is what I was trying to do today, which is to just bring out into the public sphere and into our public conversations, you know what, people who step up to run for local council are doing an active community service, and even if you don't agree with them, let's show them our respect. And most importantly, when somebody goes through a tough time, let's show them our support. And then we can go back to our usual, red or blue, orange, green, whatever arguments over the rest of the year. But let's just make sure that we're supporting one another when it comes to the level of just being people.
Supervised consumption site, open in 6, 7, 8 weeks, maybe. We still don't have public announcement of a location. There's still no public engagement, as far as I know, in terms of a specific location. When are we going to know that location?
I'd say in the next few weeks. The timing around, before. Yes, before it opens. That's a good one. The federal application process, we'll be sharing the location as part of that. The community consultation details we'll be sharing as part of that. So all of that's coming in December, I would say.
And why can't you share the location now and let people know? I know there might not be a lot of residences in the immediate area, but let the people who live and work in that area know that it's coming.
Because we're putting the application together, from what I understand, it's basically done, but for whatever reason, it's not going to be submitted for a few weeks. Yes, I gather there's a few details. Yes, I gather there's still a few details that need to be ironed out, and just want to make sure we got all our I's dotted and T's crossed before we share the next public details on the plan. But yes, January opening. Yeah.
Offer response says he's learned he's not Indigenous. How do you react to that?
I'm for the real Nietzsche's. What can I say? That's my response.
Anything else?
Premier, on Sunday there was a rally at the legislature. People were upset about the 72-hour detention facility for intoxicated persons. What do you say to people who say that there hasn't been a trauma-informed approach to establishing this site, and there needs to be more supports for people who are going in there?
This is the most support that you've ever seen for people struggling with addictions. Like, we're not starting from a place of utopia and bringing a sobering center into the pearly gates of heaven. Right now, if someone's intoxicated on Main Street and they get taken to the drunk tank, the toilet is a grill on the floor. You all got to see the images of the new place. It's a dramatic improvement. It's much, much nicer. In terms of trauma, in terms of support, a path to recovery, great ideas, that's all built into the plan. The reason why we're taking this window of time right now is to make sure that the medical attention, the physicians with the expertise in addictions medicine are going to have the ability to completely design every aspect of this medical intervention that they see fit. So again, I appreciate people's concern. We're delivering on trauma-informed care. We're delivering on improved services for people with addictions. We're delivering a healthcare-based approach, but most importantly, we're taking steps to keep you safe from the impacts that meth is having on our communities.
Good?
Thank you.
Great. All right. Thanks, everybody.